Well, by popular demand, or rather because Jim would ask me if I was going to do any more videos. I was thinking what I could do. Obviously the Kings and the Stones were my main acts in the 60s, but I didn't have that. Also mentioned many a time, I haven't had that many singles anyway. But what I thought I'd do is talk about the first 40 singles that I ever bought. I have always liked to organise things, and therefore I have them in numerical order, in order of purchase. Most of them have the original sleeves on, even though most of them are just about hanging on the record rather than covering it completely. So we'll start with the very first single I ever bought. Right. As you can see what I was saying, this is The Cruel Sea by the Dakotas. Unusual that I would select that for my first single, but it was just a case of circumstances at the time. I just like the that particular track, the guitars, instrumental as well of course, and the B-side, which was The Millionaires. Very early on I was very much into the Springfields, well, for a short time anyway, and I caught up on some original recordings by purchasing these little EPs, and this one has Silver Threads and Golden Needles, which actually wasn't a hit in the UK but was very big in the USA. Also Island of Dreams, which was a hit, Little Boat, and Say I Won't Be There, all of which will be very well known by English record buyers. So that was my second ever record purchase. I said singles, but of course it's singles and EPs I'm including here. I'm just checking to see when I actually bought the very first one. Somewhat faded, the 29th, 64 I think it was, a bit faded on there now. Must have been 63 because this is the third one I ever bought, and the actual date of purchase is visible on this one because it's easier to see on a white background. Again, it was the Springfields, and it was Come On Home, with a record on the other side called Pitter Pat, which I can't remember at all at the moment. So I think between that little EP and this, it's like the main Springfields hits of the time. So I bought that on the 31st of August 1963. See what I mean about poor sleeves? I'm going to do a little bit of maintenance on these when I finish doing this. Record number 4, I'll Never Get Over You, Johnny Kidd and the Pirates. Then I got Everything Was on the B-side. Of course in those days you tended to play the B-sides as, well, not as much, but nearly as often as the A-sides. And when you first got them, you just put them on the record player and let them play over and over again until you got fed up with them. I didn't really think of myself as being crazy for instrumentals, and I still don't really, but the 5th record I ever bought was Wipeout by the Safaris, with Surfer Joe on the back, being the B-side. Still hear that quite a bit today in one of the bars in Durham called the Fighting Cocks. Tends to play 70s and before records in there. Slightly older group of people as well. Wipeout is quite often played in there. Now the 6th record I bought was actually Surfing USA by the Beach Boys. But a little clique of friends I was with, we were talking about swapping records. So my another instrumental, my Surfing USA by the Beach Boys, turned into the James Bond theme by John Barry, with the Blacksmith's Blues on the back, which I have the foggiest idea how it goes now, but the James Bond theme. Thought it was very appropriate for myself anyway, being a James. Now, I haven't really mentioned any what you call mainstream English acts really, apart from Springfields. But my number 7th one still wasn't. That was September '63, and I bought Easier Said Than Done by the Essex. I quite like the Essex. How You Going My Way on the B-side I can remember very well as well. You remember I said I bought the Beach Boys Surfing USA. Well, I did buy another surf song, but this time my 8th single was Surf City by Jan and Dean, with She's My Summer Girl on the B-side. Back to English artists. So again, September '63, Just Like Eddie by Hines, with Don't You Knock at My Door on the B-side. No, I don't remember that one either. Now I did get, this is where I got more into the music, well, obviously at '63 anyway. A lot of the major British groups were just about emerging. I missed the Searchers' Sweets for My Sweet. However, this is my first Searchers purchase. Ain't Gonna Kiss You, with Farmer John, Love Potion number 9, and Alright. Back to instrumentals. Number 11, Shindig by The Shadows, with It's Been a Long, It's Been a Long, I keep saying along, I don't know why. It's Been a Blue Day. I suppose it depends on how long the day's been, on the B-side. Another, would you believe, instrumental. It's just dawning on me now that I actually bought a few of these instrumentals. Number 12 was the follow-up to Wipeout, Point Panic. It was just the same as Wipeout, except the scream was nearer the end than at the beginning. But it was nice music. And Waikiki Run on the backside, on the B-side. Must stop saying that. And, would you believe it, number 13, another instrumental. This was Magic Carpet by the Dakotas, the follow-up to The Cruel Sea, with Humdinger on the B-side. Whilst I missed out on Sweets for My Sweet by the Searchers, I did purchase Sugar and Spice, with the B-side Saints and Searchers. Now, one of my all-time favourite singles and records has got to Be My Baby by the Ronettes. This is just a brilliant song. I think it definitely ranks in my top 10, top 20 at least, all-time favourite songs. With on the back an instrumental which I didn't know when I bought it, called Tedesco and Pittman. Getting back to Merseyside, this is I'm With You by the Big Three, with a version of Peanut Butter on the B-side. Following on from the Springfields, I followed Dusty's career, and this is I Only Want to Be With You, with Once Upon a Time on the B-side. We were now into November '63, and this is my 17th single. Having missed the Sweets for My Sweet by the Searchers single, I purchased this EP, which does have Sweets for My Sweet. It's been a dream. It's all been a dream on the B-side. Since You Broke My Heart and their version of Money. So now I've sort of caught up with the singles. I carried on with Hines into Country Boy, and I got one on the B-side called Long Tall Jack. Now, as I'd purchased records by the Dakotas, being Billy J. Kramer's backing group, the only record I bought by Adam Faith's backing group, the Roulettes, was Soon I'll Be Leaving You. I just like the guitar sound and riff on this particular single, with a B-side, Telltale Tit. Well, that's my top 20, rather first purchased records, not necessarily my favourites. Then into Jerry and the Pacemakers. It's the only one of his I bought, and it was I'm the One. And the B-side was You've Got What I Like. Following on with my Searchers collection, the next record I bought was Needles and Pins, with Saturday Night Out on the B-side from the film. Almost an instrumental is the Kingsmen's version of Louie Louie, which I say the Kingsmen's version, it's the version as far as I'm concerned. No, the Kinks did a version on one of their early albums, but this is the definitive one with Haunted Castle on the B-side. So you can see I've got at the moment, so far I've got a bit of a mixture of American and British artists. Continuing with the Searchers, next one I got was this EP with Hungry for Love and Don't You Know, also Oh My Lover and Ain't That Just Like Me. Then Don't Take Your Love Away by the Searchers. That had on the B-side I Pretend I'm With You. You may recall from one of my earlier talks that I mentioned a Saturday club I used to go to college, and they made a collection. You could vote for a current top 30 record, and the one with the most votes they actually purchased for it to use in the club the next week. I can't remember the exact amount, but it would say it was like 10p now, and you get one vote for 10p. So obviously the ones with more money tended to be the ones that voted their records in. I did do a bit of canvassing, however, and this one I got was purchased from them after it had been used, is Walk Like a Man by the Four Seasons, with Lucky Ladybug on the B-side. Right, number 27, another one from the Saturday Club. It's Freddie and the Dreamers, and If You're Gonna Make a Fool of Somebody, and Feel So Blue on the back. Not really what I would consider my sort of music, definitely not now, but in that time I thought it was a good idea buying it, since it was being sold at Mount our Saturday Club. Next one, number 28. Now this was in June 1964. I didn't even know where Sunderland was at the time. However, Newcastle wasn't far from Sunderland, and this is Eric Burdon and the Animals, or rather The Animals, with The House of the Rising Sun. We're talking about you on the back. I think the fact that it was very long for the time, about 4.5 minutes if I remember rightly, plus the superb keyboard of Alan Price on that record, and Eric Burdon's soulful voice, which alas he has lost. But that's the number 28th single. The only record I bought of PJ Proby was this one, which is Try to Forget Her, and There Stands the One is on the B-side. Don't even think it was a hit, but one of his better ones, I thought. And then of course the real groups kicked in, and on the 5th of September 1964 You Really Got Me by the Kinks completely grabbed my imagination, and this also ranks as one of the top 20 singles ever, I would say, with It's Alright on the back. And at that point I'm going to stop. That's been top 30. I don't have too many, as I said, but we'll stop at number 30. That seems a convenient place.